Okay, so I set myself up for failure and I went ahead and watched Mea Culpa, and we got to talk about it. So if you haven't had a chance to watch the movie yet, pause this, save this, put it in your watch later, go watch the movie, come back. Because I'm just going to go ahead and give spoilers for this movie. I don't feel like it's necessary to not give spoilers because it's everything that you are probably thinking it's going to be for any Tyler Perry movie. Let's just dig in. So hi, for those of you who are new to the channel, hi, my name is Quana, and this is Her Real Review, where I give my take on movies and television shows from a Black femme perspective. Just got finished watching Tyler Perry's Mea Culpa, which is a movie that he produced and directed for the Netflix streaming platform, and it stars Kelly Rowland and Trevante Rhodes. And let me just say that my reasons for watching this movie start and end with those two people, hands down. And so if you're looking for a reason to watch the movie, you don't need to look any further than Kelly Rowland and Trevante Rhodes, because they deserve all things, and I don't know why. I don't know why we are here with Tyler yet again. The last Tyler Perry movie that I watched for Netflix was A Fall from Grace. Now I know what you're thinking. Quana, what about A Jasmine's Blues? Guys, I'm sorry. I saw passing. I did not want to get into A Jasmine's Blues, and I've heard nothing but, decent things about it. But I just couldn't. I will eventually, but there wasn't enough there for me to invest my time just going off of the premise and the trailer. But I digress, because I'm here and looking like Boo Boo the Foo, because I was like, let's give Tyler Perry a chance. I'm more open now. I'm a little less elitist now. I watch Tubi movies. By the way, every Monday, Messy Movie Monday, we watch Tubi movies most of the time. And so I was like, I'm open and I'm ready for this. And also Trevante Rhodes. I love Trevante Rhodes. Trevante Rhodes deserves the sun and the moon, ever since he was in Moonlight, which was an Oscar-winning film. He hasn't been utilized enough for my liking. He was in Bird Box and gave what I thought was one of the better performances of the film, although he was underutilized in that film. He was in all of 2 seconds of Candy Cane Lane this year with Eddie Murphy, or this past year with Eddie Murphy. So he was in a Mike Tyson kind of biopic series for Hulu, was great in that. Trevante Rhodes just deserves everything. Sorry, I got a lash over here. Wait, back when we were. And then, of course, there's Kelly Rowland, who, of course, needs no introduction. She is the songstress. She is 1/3 of DC3. She is 1/4 of DC4. And she is 1/5 of what will be one day, hope prayerfully, DC5. And so we've seen her ever since Seat Filler begin to dabble more and more into her acting bag. Her best acting performance by far was her performance in the BET produced Soul Train series called American Soul. She was phenomenal in that. I digress. You're here to talk about Mea Culpa. So I reacted to the trailer, and I'll pin that here and also put it in the description of this video and also in the pinned comments of this video, in case you just want to see my initial thoughts. And just know that I went into this trying to unpack as much baggage and as much trauma from past Tyler Perry productions before watching this, because I thought surely Tyler would not get Kelly Rowland and Trevante Rhodes in a movie and it not be spectacular. I forgot that this was the same man who had Miss Felicia Rashad in A Fall from Grace and gave us that. I don't know what I was thinking. So anyway, Mea Culpa stars Kelly Rowland, and she plays a lawyer by the name of Mia Harper. When we first meet Mia, she and her husband, played by Sean Sager, are having marital issues, and they're at couples therapy. Now, let me give you a little bit about her husband, who his name is Cal, played by Sean Sager. In the movie, he is a former doctor, former anesthesiologist who got hooked on drugs. on prescription drugs and went to work high and lost his job. And so she has been footing the bill, and he has been lying to his family about the fact that he does not have a job and making them believe that she deserves their ire for some reason because all she does is stand by her man. And he has been developing a rekindled relationship with his childhood friend, who just happens to be a stunning woman named Jenna. So things are not going well with the two of them. There's a lot of distrust, dishonesty. They have to unpack. And on top of it, he is a full-blown mama's boy. Mama says jump and he says how high. And in fact, it is her birthday dinner and they are having to leave couples therapy early. Well, he leaves couples therapy early and she's like, no, I'm gonna stay here and finish this expensive behind session that, again, I am paying for because I am paying for everything. When they get to this very posh restaurant that you wonder how can their family afford this, because we find out that his brother is a junior or assistant. He's the junior assistant to the assistant DA. Okay, something along those lines. She gets to the restaurant and she meets this Italian guy whose name is Maddie, I think. And he's like, hey, my friend Zaire Malloy is here and he wants you to be his attorney. I told him he needs to come see you because you were the best of the best. This is the only time we find out that she is the best of the best. We don't ever get to see her practice any law. We don't ever get to see her with another client. We don't ever get to see her do anything lawyery that would lead us to believe that she is the best of the best, except for this man in exposition telling us she is the best of the best. She goes to dinner and mom is a humongous witch, but with a capital B. Shows up, she's like, oh, finally her highness is here. She's invited the other woman to the dinner. She's literally telling him, oh, your other wife, your second wife will be on time. Now, we're supposed to cut mom some slack because she is in chemotherapy for the big C, and that would explain why her wig is a hot mess. I can't keep giving Tyler a pass for the hair when you're in Atlanta, when these girlies on TikTok be laying lace every which way from Sunday. Everybody in your film should have Meg Thee Stallion laid hair at any given moment. Meg Thee Stallion can bust out with blue, purple, pink, any color of the rainbow, and it looks like it's coming from out of her scalp. She's an anime girly. Why don't you have that quality? You are a cajillionaire. I can't. But anyway, the mom is played by Kate O'Malley, who is the sister to Mike O'Malley, who I adore because I was a Nickelodeon kid. If you know, you know. I digress. So we hate her. We hate mom, and we hate his big brother, who also is a major butthole and is treating her best friend, who is his wife, with complete disregard and disrespect. They are seated at the end of the table. Nobody's interacting with them. It's very clear very early on. And if you watch the movie more than once, then you see that the setup and the reveal for the end is in your face from the very beginning. Anyway, we find out that he is going to be prosecuting the Zaire Malloy case. He has a conflict of interest because his wife purchased 2 paintings or commissioned 2 paintings by him, and now they have to get rid of them. That will come back later. So eventually, because of everything that's going on, she decides to at least meet with Zaire. Because why? Because they need the money, because her husband is not working. Okay, so she meets with Zaire, played with by Trevante Rhodes. Now listen, do not watch this movie in a public space, okay? Somewhere along the way, Tyler Perry decided he doesn't do PG-13 anymore. And he decided he was going to dabble in R. And he decided, I'm going to dabble all the way in R. And you is going to get TNA in this movie all the way through. So just be prepared. But when we meet Zaire, he is just this handsome guy played by Trevante Rhodes. He's a bit of a butthole, to be honest. We find out that he's been accused of killing his girlfriend and, in fact, slaughtered her, apparently. They can't find her body. Her blood is everywhere. Her DNA is all within the paintings that they've recovered from the scene of his house. It's a whole hot mess. She's not sure if she's going to represent him, but then Mama and the brother bring their little stank tails over for dinner one night. Suspicious, but it's all a setup because he's going to be running for mayor, and winning this case is the thing that he's going to use to run his campaign on. And so this would be a huge conflict of interest if his sister-in-law is representing him, so you better not do it. Oh, not only would I be taking the case, but I would be filing divorce papers immediately. Like, I'm sorry, this level of toxicity, like in life, I cannot understand it. Like, the fact that she put up with this man, this big baby of a man, and his complete butthole family. It's like, where are your people? I always wonder in these movies, like, where is her family? We don't get any backstory on them. We don't know anything about how they met, when they met, where her family is. Why doesn't she have a support system? Why is his family allowed to treat her this way? Why does he let his mama talk to his wife, who he knows is footing all the bills? And he is just going along with things. And we're supposed to believe that, oh my gosh, he doesn't want this to be, and he's sorry for what's going on, and he wants to try to work on his marriage. No, stop lying to your mama. But at the bare minimum, if you're gonna lie to your mama, don't let her talk to your wife like she's in the gutter. I don't like anybody in this movie at this point, except for Kelly Rowland, okay? So Kelly Rowland decides to take the case. Well, this is Mea. She takes the case, and she begins to look for a defense for Zaire. Now, Zaire, beautiful paintings. I don't know who they got to commission to do those paintings, but those paintings were gorgeous. I hope Kelly Rowland got to keep the painting that they did of her and hang it in her house, because it was stunting. Beautiful. She begins to meet this man, and he's giving off vibes a little bit, but my biggest issue is there's nothing that he does within the first 4 meetings that she has with him where she's just kind of going over the case, looking for evidence to support him and everything else, that's giving off, I want you, I need you, I have to have you, ooh baby. There's nothing that he's giving that should make this highly intelligent, super smart, best of the best woman fall into his bed. But it's an erotic thriller. But he's not wooing her. He's not courting her. He's not showing up in her office and pressing her up into a corner. He's not sending her flowers as a thank you. He's not sending her inappropriate lingerie. Like, did no one watch the erotic thrillers from the early 90s? Tyler, did you not study? Did you not do homework? Did you not? I digress. So we meet her good friend Jimmy, played by Ronrico Lee. Ronrico has been in the industry for forever, okay? Since the days of Sister, okay? We've been knowing about this man. He is playing her bestie. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, because again, full spoiler alert for everything in this movie, because I told y'all I was going to be spoiling the movie. They needed to have a subplot where he was in love with her. Now, there's nothing wrong with having just a good friendship between a guy and a woman. I'm wholeheartedly a proponent that exists. But this is an erotic thriller. I need every man who Mea meets to want her and to have something to offer her, and for her to feel like I have to choose between these men. Her husband is trash, but also Zaire is trash. There again is nothing this man is doing that should be making her want him, because he's accused of killing his girlfriend. She has no clear evidence that he didn't kill the girlfriend. She's searching for evidence that he didn't kill his girlfriend. And he's not trying to actively woo her in any kind of real sensual way, just going off of vibes and whatnot, I guess. And Jimmy, who is the man who is in her corner, is handsome. Nothing works out with that. Why not? I don't know. So eventually, Zaire keeps trying to put the moves on her, and she's like, pump the brakes. No, we're not going to do this. We're going to meet in my office. And he's like, no, I'm not doing this. I don't want to come here. There's paparazzi out here, and you just trying to run away from me. And no, you're not going to run away from me. I'm going to force you. He makes her paint her feelings, which I guess is supposed to be sensual. And it's supposed to give like the scene from Ghost where Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore are doing the pottery. It wasn't giving that. She paints a blue squiggly line on the page, and it's supposed to be waves. Like, girl, you ain't never did a sip and paint? Like, I was just like, you never did a sip and paint? Like, the sip and paint waves be better than what you just did. Like, he just took your hand and went like this, and it was supposed to be sensual and beautiful. Movies that have used the technique of art as like a sensual mode have done so much better. Tyler Perry should have been watching some footage of like how that scene should have been played out. One of the ways, and I can't remember what movie does it, that I've seen it played out in some movie before, was having the person ruin some art that was already in existence in a way to like kind of show that like the art wasn't as important as the person's feelings or something like that. Like it just didn't move me. It did not move me, but it moved her to where she's kissing and hugging on him, and she's all enamored, and she has to pump the brakes again. And then finally she shows up to his place, and he is with another woman who's not cute because she's not Kelly Rowland. I'm sorry to that woman. And oh, this is after I think either before or after he's taken her to some sex dungeon club. Okay, keep that in mind. And then the woman proceeds to give him in front of Kelly Rowland. And then Kelly Rowland comes back, and the woman is riding him, and he proceeds to dismiss the woman, and Kelly gets it. Mea gets in bed with him. You just saw him getting it on. I don't know if he was wrapped or not, but let's just assume he was bare bone with another woman. You don't know what that woman has. You don't know what this man has. You just saw him doing this with this woman, and that enticed you to join in the fun. And it wasn't like, okay, her husband, they had one scene with her husband, and the husband wasn't hitting on nothing. It was a hit it and quit it, and not even like really, like it was really like hopped off real fast, like not even a moment of like caressing, touching, hugging. We're enjoying this moment. Nothing. It was, people talked about how bad the scenes were in season 1 of Bridgerton. No, baby. No, that was bad. So I get it. She was supposed to be repressed, and it was the repression that led her to going ahead and sleeping with Zaire. But it literally felt like it went from 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds. And she is now letting go of every moray that she would have possessed in order to get with the man who was just smashing somebody else in front of her face. Tyler Perry, I need you to come to the front of the class and explain yourself, sir. So then we proceed to get into the goods with Mea and Zaire, and they take it to task. Okay. You have two beautiful people on screen. They're beautiful, gorgeous, dark chocolatey skin. I just couldn't get past what we had just seen, and it ruined the beauty of the moment for me, because what I wanted for Mea was, I wanted this dark and dangerous man to pursue her and court her with some sensuality and some coveting of her in a way that made her like realize that she wasn't getting anything from her husband. So it made sense for her to do what she did, especially because she's doing it off of some revenge thing, because Jimmy gets some miscommunication and finds out that her husband and Jenna were at a hotel, but it was really to see his mama because his mama was sick, but it was all just a setup anyway because mama really wasn't sick. Like, it was a whole mess. To me, the scene did not land. It was beautiful, but it did not land. And I'm not a prude, but it was a bit much. I think it wouldn't have been much if the setup was different, but it felt like it just came out of nowhere. So Mea sends Jimmy to Mexico. He can't find anything about the woman the girlfriend who was supposed to be from Mexico who went missing. Then, because Mea stays out all night, her husband gets suspicious, and he shows up at the job with the sister-in-law, and then that turns into a whole mess. And then eventually she realizes that they were at the hotel because mom was sick and he didn't cheat on her, and she has buyer's remorse, and she goes and she quits from the case and goes to recuse herself from the case. But then the judge tells the brother-in-law, who works for the DA, that she recused herself because of personal stuff. And so the whole floodgates are open with the fact that she slept with Zaire. It all happens very, very quickly. And then they break up because the husband is like, no, this is not, we break up. So they break up, and she hops on a plane and flies to DR to go and get some rest and relaxation. Now, where does she have money? I don't know, because the whole reason why she took the job was because she didn't have money in the first place. And she sees the dead girlfriend at some random resort. Because of course, why not? Why not see the dead girlfriend at this random resort? There wasn't anybody to say this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense how the girlfriend who was supposed to be from Mexico ended up at the random resort in the Dominican Republic. Instead of there being another clue, instead of there being something else that would have led to them finding her. And we never find out, like, how was the girlfriend paid off, what happened, any of that. We never find that out. At the end of the day, that's a plot hole that we never get uncovered completely. Mea goes back home, calls the brother-in-law. It's like, yo, I just saw old girl. She attacked me, took my phone because I found her, and you need to get somebody on this pronto because he didn't do it. She's alive. And I'm trying to tell the police down here and they won't do anything. So she eventually goes home, puts Jimmy on the case. I really feel like this is like some Superman type thing. We got Jimmy Olsen up in the cut. And so she goes back home and she goes to meet with her brother-in-law to help put everything to rights. They gave the impression that she was the ish. Why does she have to go to him direct? She already went to the judge to recuse herself. Why not go straight to the DA? You go to your brother-in-law at the middle of the night. And already as soon as we get there, it's sus. It's sus. He's offering her a drink. He's like demanding she drinks it. At this point, when he's demanding that she drinks the drink, and we are clearly like, oh, he poisoned the drink. If you don't smash that glass and cut somebody with that daggone glass, I was so mad. It was such a wasted moment. And then eventually we find out that the whole thing has been a setup from jump. Not only did they set up Zaire, but they set up her. They set up, it was supposed to be, we getting rid of all the skeletons because this, now twist, the sister-in-law had an affair with Zaire. So that's why they set up Zaire, and then they decided to use it for their advantage to help win his mayoral case. Boom, case closed. But now the sister-in-law and Mea are both in this house trapped with these psychopaths, and they have to escape. The sister-in-law gets stabbed by the mama. Mea escapes, runs down the highway, runs into the husband who they've lied and said, oh, he doesn't know anything. At this point, why do you believe anything that these people have said? You get in this car with this man because she's supposed to be all traumatized. Girl, he obviously has been in on it from jump, and he was in on it from Jump Street, which is like also like, why was he in on it? Well, probably because once she went down, or once they killed her, or whatever the case was going to be, he was probably going to get some life insurance. So there's that. So did he ever even have a junk problem? Like, it's so much. It's so much. And that's the problem with Tyler Perry movies. It's so much. The ending is a mess. Mea manages to escape. The husband drives a car and gets hit by a semi, and he gets hit, and she manages to get ejected from the car and survives. And everybody's dead, but the brother, the husband's dead, the mama's dead, the sister-in-law is dead. The brother is the only one who's alive, who's gonna go down for everything. Zaire is alive. They get him out. Jimmy is alive. We don't know where Jimmy is, and Mea is alive. The end, case closed. How this movie should have gone is, if you want to give Mea a husband, give Mea a husband and have them have problems. I don't know why you had to have him have a husband. He could have just been a boyfriend, but you got her husband, whatever. Zaire should have been courting her with like desirable things, sensual things along the way, touching her, making her feel uncomfortable, talking about his sexual conquest in a way that sounded pleasurable for the women, because they only have one conversation about it, and it should have made her uncomfortable. It should have made her tingly on her inside parts. That led up to her having these two choices and thinking that her husband has stepped out fine, but then also seeing what Zaire has been offering her as like true desire and wanting to take that option, wanting to dive into that world. There's no reason for us to believe that this man didn't kill the girlfriend. They don't give us any reason. And have him own a dog. Do something to make us like him as a character so that we want him for Mea. Because it's an erotic thriller. We should kind of in the back of our mind not know we know it's a thriller. Who is going to be the bad guy that's going to go after Mea? Is it her husband? Is it Zaire? Is it Jimmy? Heck, was Jimmy in on it all the time? That would have been something. We never got to see Kelly Rowland in a courtroom. We don't know why she's a good attorney. We don't know if she's a good attorney. At the end of the day, okay, in the plus column, two chocolatey black people on screen making love. Okay, check. Kelly Rowland, stunning. The fits were fitting. Now, some of them were questionable. The white blouse, questionable that you would wear that to work as an attorney. But the suits with the little bit of skin in the back showing, oh, those were left. Those were so adorable. Trevante Rhodes. I don't even know what he wore. I have no clue what he had on. He had on paint at one point. And hey, okay, hey, you know, you do what you do. Why can't Ron get some nice fits? You got Barbara in a Hawaiian shirt. Come on now. Okay. You got Nick and Sean, the brothers, looking like brothers. They look like brothers. The brothers. They're happy and they're singing and they're colored. All kinds of chaos. Okay. It was predictable and yet just not okay, this is the best analogy that I can give for this movie. It was a to-be quality movie with a A-list cast. Well, half of the cast is A-list, right? Half of an A-list cast in a to-be quality movie with a Tyler Perry budget. Well, we're not going to say Tyler Perry budget because his budget for his films is low, but his access to funds is high. Make it make sense. They started principal photography on this film in March 6th of 2023, and it wrapped March 26th. And it looks like it was I'm actually shocked that they didn't do the 5-day thing that he normally does with his movies, because I would have been less shocked. But I think that now that's gotten so much bad press that he can't maybe get away with that with certain people. So it had to spend longer, but that's still really, really, really fast for a film that essentially, well, I don't think they actually filmed in Mexico at any point in time. I think it was only, maybe it was. I think it was mostly at the TP Studios in Atlanta and then a little bit in Chicago. But he has the money. He has the money. And Kelly Rowland was executive producing on this. And I'm sure if the quality had been better, they probably could have gotten some funding and asked Jay-Z to produce on this, because he's producing things now. I just keep waiting. When you have people like a Tyler Perry and he's getting access to these platforms and he has the access with the studio and everything else, it's just sad that you're just not seeing the quality improve, because we don't have enough people who are able to produce things and work on these projects and get the budget that they would need to be successful and have these good quality movies. And, you know, yeah, the erotic thrillers of the 90s, they were stripped down, but then you make up for that because the quality of the writing is good. There is no memorable moments. There's no quotables from this movie. There's no monologues from this movie. There's nothing that I'm taking away from this movie except for Trevante Rhodes' cheeks and paint. That's the takeaway. That's the part of the movie that I'm going to remember. This isn't even like a fall from grace shocking, because at least A Fall from Grace had like some genuine like shocks, twists, turns, bad wigs. Like there were like full-on moments that we were talking about for like months on end after that movie dropped, and this doesn't even have that. And I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed because I wanted so much more for Trevante Rhodes. I wanted so much more for Kelly Rowland. They're on this big, they've been going around and promoting this movie, and they've been getting a lot of press for this movie. And there are movies that came out that didn't get nearly the press that were better made. And it's just sad. It's just sad. So that is my spoiler recap review of Mea Culpa, a film that I didn't love, but I still support Kelly and Trevante always and forever. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I just thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please jump down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on the movie. I think if this was on Tubi and I didn't have the knowledge that it was Tyler Perry, I think I could give it a better rate. I think I could give it a better rating because I would be putting it in a category. And if you've ever been on my channel, one thing that I love to do is I love to rate movies based on the genre and based on the category that they fall in. You give this movie an A-list cast, it has access to A-list funds, you put it on an A-list kind of platform, a mega platform like Netflix, and it gets top billing. And I expected to be better. I don't know why, because I set myself up for failure, but it wasn't. So I am going to give Mea Culpa a C minus. I really want to give it a D, y'all, but I'm going to give it a C minus because I just, in my life, in my bones, I cannot give Kelly Rowland less than a passing grade. So I'm going to give it a C minus. Tyler Perry, you better thank your lucky stars that you casted Kelly Rowland and Trevante Rhodes in this, and I love them and adore them. So that's what saves us from getting a full out D. It gets a C minus from me, and let's talk about it in the comments. Let's write about it if you have to, but let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, toodles.